Welcome. Don't adjust your dial. Welcome everyone to the Lofi Poli Sci podcast. I'm your host, Michael Pickering. That's right. Lo-fi's and low fidelity, low quality, in your face, messy as can be global news show. Here we're going to talk about that famous question, what's going on in the world today? I hope everyone's ready. It's Messy Monday. Messy Monday's weekend recap will bring you 10 fast-paced headlines from across the globe, and then a piece of humanity to send you on your way for the week. And it was most certainly a messy one out there this weekend, with multiple tragedies, but also some goodness in the world. The news, fresh off the press. The following 3 stories all come from Reuters World News. We begin in Indonesia. Digital attacks raise fears over press freedoms in Indonesia. 4 media outlets suffered several attacks this last week, ranging from having stories critical of the government removed, to having their websites taken over and replaced with a black screen that said hoax. All 4 of these media organizations have been critical of the government lately, and the timing of these attacks point in one direction: the government. We'll be watching closely. Now off to Western Africa. Mali junta, regional negotiators hammer out transition details. Sources. The details are still few and vague, but it does appear that the negotiators from neighboring African countries have met with the Mali coup leaders, and a transitional government will likely be installed. But the ousted president will not be coming back. We have to wait and see throughout the week just how this situation will play out. Off to Europe for our next story. German doctors say tests indicate Kremlin critic Navalny was poisoned. This is a continuing update to last week's story. While doctors in Russia had denied poison showed up in any test, doctors in Germany are saying it was in fact poison. We wait with great interest to see Russia and President Putin's response to this update. Our following 3 stories all come from the BBC News. To Australia we go. Why Australia is facing calls to stop jailing 10-year-olds. Well, I can quickly answer that question in the headline for you. Because they're only 10 years old! Come on, really, Australia? And to make matters worse, data in the article points out that 65% of those children that were in jail were either Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander children, which only make up 3% of Australia's overall population. Something's surely wrong with this, Australia. Get to it and fix it. You're normally our beacon of good news on Fridays. Next up, we move to the Caribbean. Storms Marco and Laura plow through Caribbean, killing 12. 2 hurricane/storms have been passing over the island countries of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, where these deaths have occurred. Storm surges, winds, and rain are all formidable forces from a hurricane, especially when striking islands. Let's hope that these conditions pass quickly, and that everyone else in the countries may stay safe. Wake up, world, and help our fellow humans. For our following story, we travel to the west of Russia. Belarus detains opposition figures after Minsk's mass rally. Massive People's Power Movement protests took place again this weekend in Belarus, with some estimates of up to 100,000 people marching, calling for the president to step down and new elections to take place. 2 of the main leaders of the opposition have been arrested. A question to you, Lo-Fi listeners. In most People's Powers movements, when mass protests begin calling for a new government, there still needs to be a linchpin pulled before a government can truly be toppled by the people. Will the arrest of these 2 leaders be that linchpin? Let me know your thoughts. And our final 4 pieces of news all come from AP News International and Science sections. We begin in the Philippines. 14 killed, 75 wounded in bomb attacks in South Philippines. This tragic event took place earlier today, Monday. Although no group has claimed responsibility, the military believes it is a local ISIS-allied group. We tend not to hear too much about this group anymore, with many people believing that they were finished, as international efforts took aim at them in the Middle East. The sad reality is that offshoots of this group still exist throughout the world. We'll definitely keep you posted as more details become available. Now we move back to Indonesia and Mother Nature. Indonesia's Sinabung volcano spews new burst of hot ash. Mother Nature is wicked active this week, Lo-Fi Nation. One of Indonesia's 120 active volcanoes erupted yesterday, sending debris and smoke over half a mile into the sky. Volcanoes are amazing and beautiful natural spectaculars, but so dangerous. Luckily, no one was injured in the eruption, and local officials and residents are staying far away from the crater. Check out these pictures, peeps. Next up, we move to the U.S. Florida Keys to release modified mosquitoes to fight illness. Remember Friday I said we'd have a little conversation about Florida and mosquitoes? Well, this is it. Apparently they got permission finally to release genetically altered mosquitoes into the wild in order to try and eradicate diseases like the Zika virus that reside in local mosquito populations. Great. This is all we need, because every time we do something like this to solve one problem in nature, we end up creating different problems altogether. And let's be clear, I'm no fan of Zika or anything like that. I'm just also not a fan of genetically altering nature and then having to wait and see how Mother Earth will deal with it. There's already enough going on in the world, Florida. How about you chill for a minute with this planned? And a last piece of news to send you on your way for the week. We travel to Washington, D.C. Birth of Panda Cub provides much-needed moment of pure joy. I couldn't agree more. Pandas are beautiful beings, and Mother Nature blessing us with one more panda is always a good thing in my book. Take a look at the pictures, Lo-Fi listeners. It'll make you smile. Thank you, Mama Panda, and take care of that beautiful new cub. You both make our world a much better place. And that's a brief snapshot of what's going on in the world today. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode of Top 10 Smallest Countries by Population. Always remember that Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. Write in with questions or comments to lofipolisci@planetmail.com. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Wash those hands. And I'll see you on the next episode of the Lofi Poli Sci podcast. Pickering, signing off.